Hello everybody, David here. I'm doing another oil change video on the S90. It's an annual oil change. I'm not going to go into oil and mileage and whatnot like that. My wife and I are retired. We drive very little. Once a year is good enough. The month of state inspection determines when I change the oil. I don't even care what the mileage is. Could be 1,000,000 miles. I know that's bad. But really, it's about 3 or 4. So anyway, this is a follow-up in that I had some activity over here, a lot of leaves, a lot of stuff. I suspected a mouse. In the past year, I have caught 2 mice because we do have bird feeders and there's sunflower seeds in the garage, and you know, when they sneak in here in the wintertime, you know, they munch on sunflower seeds. And that's actually how I caught them. They can get in there, but they can't get out. So anyway, definitely took care of the mice situation here. 100% sure of that. Can't get any better than 100% sure. So again, this is going to be another cleanup. Gonna clean all this stuff up over here. I don't have my oil resistant gloves for disassembly, but I'll put on the other ones, the black nitrils, for when I handle the oil. But anyway, I'll clean all this up, get it all nice and pretty, even though that's the side you don't see. And then also I have another project that I will tell you about next. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the plug off of the oil filter and let that start dripping out. It doesn't really work really well, but I'm in the process of doing other things, so it's kind of like one of those, in the meantime, I'll be letting the oil filter drain out as much as it can. And I'd also like to point out that genuine Volvo MAN HU8014Z, just to show you that even though I'm a fanatic about using genuine Volvo parts, I do use other brands. And this is one of the brands I've used in all my older Volvos. The S80 were all MAN. It's lifetime, 150,000 miles. The XC90 used MAN filters. It's lifetime. Couple of Volvos thrown in between there for 110,000 miles. So what's my other project? My other project is I'm going to be replacing these air dam screw holders. I noticed a couple of them were stripped out. The car was a rent-a-car before I got it, plus the garage that had it before I bought it also might have done something. 1 or 2 of these are stripped out, so I'm going to replace them all. There's 10 of them. Speaking of 10, when I took the screws out to take the bottom air dam off, or whatever they call it, I only found 9 screws. So I went back under the car and looked, and there are 10 pieces for the 9 screws to attach to. So there was one missing in the years we've owned this car. And I hadn't noticed it because in the front and back there are 2 clips, so after you take all the screws out, this doesn't fall on your face. There's one here, and let me see if I can operate my camera here. There's one there, one on the front, one on the back. Alright, quick little shot. Here's one of the air dam holders. This one is not only wobbly, boy, the other ones are really locked in there. But anyway, this is one of the ones that doesn't work very well, in my opinion. So I'll be doing all 10, just replace them all. And oil filter, already broke it loose, so I'll be taking this out and just letting it drain while I do the other part. So there she goes. Alright, I inspected the drain plug and it looks fine. There's a few marks on it. I probably did that. Who knows, you know. Anyway, 17 millimeter fits it. So I think it's the other vehicle I'm going to replace the plug on. It's kind of chewed up over the years. This car is newer, so it hadn't had too many oil changes. So it's fine. I'll put this away. Okay, so there they all are out. And they all went left to right. So when I pulled them out, I could get my tool in there. I'm going to flip the tool upside down. So I could get my tool in there, get it started. I did a little twist, and out they popped. And the slots that are in the metal that these pop into are all going left to right. So, you know, driver's side, passenger side, that kind of thing. As opposed to front and back of the vehicle. None of them were front and back. They were all driver's side, passenger side, passenger side, driver's side. Whatever country you're in. Okay, and as you can see just by the dirt, some of them are in rough shape and some of them look brand new. However, we're going to replace all 10, and it's easy to tell which one's which because, you know, they are, you know, chewed into, the threads bite into it, so. Okay, and I'm on the side of the vehicle. The long part of the slot is going from left to right, not forward and back. So the new piece, if I can hold the camera and install it at the same time and get out of my own light. So I had to switch hands. I'd have to do this left-handed in order to film it. And wow, that was easy. All right, 9 more. All right, plug is out, oil's draining. Wasn't a mess, wasn't a problem. I don't know why, but I always do the oil filter last. I don't know, just I guess because of the pan. So, gotta move the pan underneath the oil filter, and I need a wide area in case it drips down the cap and, you know, whatever. Alright, so here's the plug. It's in pretty good shape. Get my new washer on there. Sometimes these are tough to get off. I usually have to unscrew them. And then the new one will, of course, slide right on super easy because it's not crushed. So let me work on that. All right, a little tough to get started because I had oily gloves on, but just unscrew it. Old one off. New one on. And I don't see a difference on either side, so I'm not calling it inside or outside or oil pan side, bolt side, none of that. And it looks sloppy, but as you saw, it deforms and seals. You can see it actually is pinched a little bit. Helps form the seal. Alright, super cheap. Okay, plugs in, that's done. Again, I do the oil filter last for some reason. It's just what I do. I don't torque it, I just get it good and tight. You can see that the O-ring is deformed, so I do get it tight. Can't get it out of the box with gloves on. There we go. So I do, in fact, put some oomph on it, but I'm not trying to strip it out. Also, it's much cleaner now that I'm the only one underneath there taking care of it. So I did my visual inspection. I look all around. I look for torn boots. Jiggle things around, look for loose stuff, whatever. Just a general inspection. Don't even have to be a mechanic. You look around, you know what good is, you know what bad is. Especially if you've been changing the oil more than once. You know, it's like your third or fourth oil change. and you see something different. That's really what you're looking for, something different. Okay, oil filter cap, I use AST V410. It is 86.5 millimeters. And it works great. Works on the P2s and the P3s. I have a 2009 XC90 and this 2018 S90. And it both fits fine. There's just a little bit of a slop in there, but 86 is too small, and then I don't know if it goes to 87, but the next size up is definitely way too sloppy. The flats won't engage. Well, the corners will mess up. You know, it's plastic, so you don't want to tear into the plastic cap. Oh my gosh, I'm shocked, I tell you. Now I did use the drain plug, and I let it drain for a while, and I took the cap off. I'll show it to you on the bench, and that's all I got. I mean, I have had it splash all up to the arm up here, just running down the oil pan, and I've had plenty of big, huge messes. But I'm definitely going to say pulling the center plug, giving it time to drain. I don't even know how long I left it. But it basically stopped dripping. And it worked pretty good. So I'll get my rag and wipe that up. I wanted to point out it's a lot cleaner. I know you haven't seen how it was originally, but I have cleaned this up quite a bit. I just have a little spot on this lip right here. I'll clean that up. Silliness, you know, but I'll do that. Oh no, I'm not going to edit it out. I found screw number 10. So screw number 10 with the 10 original air dam clips. So I did have all 10 screws. I apologize for misspeaking earlier. I said there were only 9, one was missing. Oh well. Guess you don't want me working on your car. So with the Volvo, it's pretty simple. They have bars here. Let's see if I can get one in camera. Right here. Let's see. Why can't I get it on camera? There it is. So there's a little bar there, and then there are threads up here. And what that tells you is that this is the O-ring groove. So that's too low, threads are too high. There's also many times where I didn't even change the O-ring. Anymore, it's like, oh, okay, why not? I've got time. So you can see, goes in that groove there. Easy peasy. There's an O-ring for this one too. Speaking of not changing, I'm not changing that one. Alright. Oil filter. Okay, interesting. Some markings if you care about them. The two ends are different. You can't mess it up. The cap will not screw in if you try and put it in upside down. Of course, you can't even get it in there. That's what these tabs are for right here. See these tabs? Well, that one looks bent a little bit. Oh, maybe not. The other side's a little bit up. Whatever. But you can't put it in backwards, even when you're off camera. So it just goes on one way and it snaps in place. And the O-ring side is up. So let me install that with my 86.5 oil filter cap tool, removal and installation tool. Typically I hand start them first. Even though the threads are extremely coarse, I make 100% sure they're not cross-threaded. 100%. That's more than 99.9. Alright, let's get this back in. So the Toyota cap said 25 Newton meters for a torque, But as soon as I have contact right here, as soon as it stops turning, that's good enough for me, because this is above this flat right here. So above this flat right here, before the threads, there's another flat area. That's where the O-ring engages. So once it bottoms out and touches, that's good enough for me. Sorry about the shaky camera work. I'm actually holding the camera instead of using a tripod. So we got that effect going on. Because it's coarse thread, it's usually very easy to start. There we go. We're started. And you can feel it resist when the O-ring starts to go into that groove I've shown you earlier. That's when I go to the tool and finish it up. I'm going to need two hands, so sorry about that. All right, so here we go. Getting it snug. And like I said, once it stops, I hit resistance. That is good enough for me, and there it is. All right, now I'm going to put, I'm going to clean up the air dam and reinstall it using the new screws and the new attachment areas here. And when I started up and checked for leaks, I really watched the end of the air dam. There's holes in it, so if it is leaking, I would see it right away. Well, lights, I hope it's not messing up the shot. And that's how I do it, because I double and triple check everything. I haven't screwed up in decades. I could screw up today, but I haven't screwed up an oil change in a very, 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 very long time. I would say since the late 70s, early 80s. Yes, I'm that old. All right, air dam, splash guard, whatever it is, ready to go back on with my new hardware. And everything's installed. It's nice and cleaned up, ready for inspection next year. Make sure that, you know, no mice or leaves or leaks. Leaks, I guess, is the main thing. Are in there when I change the oil next year. So let me put that back on. You just, let's see, click it in place in the front and the back, and that holds it, and then you can do your screws. So it's not in your face until you get the first one done. Okay, setting of 4 worked great. So I'm very happy with that. Didn't over torque it, didn't under torque it. So excellent. I think I'll keep the screws, but I've looked these over and I'm not happy with any of them. I'm just gonna trash them. All right, there's my little handiwork on the cap. You know, I'm not an artist. I'm a mechanical engineer. That means I have no social skills or artistic skills. But anyway, I like doing stuff like that. So we're gonna put the cap back on, even though there's only 5 quarts in it and it calls for 6.1 or some BS like that. So I'm going to start it up, take it off the ramps, and check the oil level and reset the service interval. Because you got to do that on new cars. There's no just like pushing a little tabby thing and remembering. All right, let me do that. I didn't really show it, and I thought about it when I was closing the hood, but you know, you look around, you check all your fluid levels, your coolant, brake fluid, windshield washer fluid. That's the most important. My wife teases me about that all the time. I keep it full. So anyway, just look around, check. That's what you're doing. It's not just draining the fluid and putting a new filter in. It's more than that. So make it worth your while. Learn your vehicle. All right, let me get it off the ramps. Okay, in order to do a service reset, we need to have the center console here if you want to read how many miles it is until the next service and all that stuff, or if you want to see it to go to 0, you can go to car status. Also under status here, notice that the oil is unavailable because the car is not running. I think the engine has to be on. We'll see. I'll leave it there for now. Okay, we'll need to know the start button. There are two positions. With your foot off the brake, you can see the key is right in the key spot. In case you didn't know, they have, can't see black on black, but in there, in the shadows, I said put your key there if you want to. Alright, so we can turn the car to the on position. It will boot up. You'll see the gas gauge read. Next, you want to depress and hold the decelerate button. Just keep it held. And what will happen is you'll get the information light, the yellow triangle with the exclamation point starts flashing. When that flashes, like on the second time or so, when you start seeing it flashing, you will come back here and release the button. So that's how that works, and it'll tell you that you have reset it. Alright, so let's start. Let's hold the button and start the vehicle. I got to use two hands, sorry about that. Okay, what I'm not going to show is when the information light is flashing, the yellow triangle with the exclamation point on it. When that's flashing, I'm going to release the decelerate button on the cruise control. I'm not going to show that because the message that pops up that says that the maintenance reminder has been reset is very fast, and I wanted to film that. So here we go. Key available, foot off the brake. That's darkness, I know. Turn the car on. Comes alive. You can see the gas indication. Goes through the check system. Press and hold the decelerate button while starting the engine. So I'll turn the switch to start again and the engine will start. Oh. Put my foot on the brake, turn the key on. Alright, there we go. Now when the caution triangle came up, I released the decelerate button and then it said maintenance reminder reset. Alright, now I only put 5 quarts of oil in here. So let's see what the indication is. Also, I'm on the ramps. So it's just below max. Well, that's pretty good. And I don't have a warning that the oil level is low. Well, that is outstanding. Alright, let me get it off the ramps. Put it in reverse. Take the parking brake off. And come off the ramps. As slow as I possibly can so I don't bottom out the car. And that should clear it. Let me go back and check the oil level. It's almost right at max. I mean, you can see it's just on the other side of the line, which is excellent. You know, there's no dipstick on this car, so this is all you got. So, alright, I pressed service. Up here was status was the oil, and service is time to service, which is 360 days or 9,941 miles, and that's the max. So anyway, so we'll go back to car status, Put the screen back to where my wife likes it. There's no phone connection because I don't have my phone out, or my wife's phone, else it would automatically just Bluetooth its way in there. Alright, as we listen to engine noise, one final triple check. Always double check, triple check, 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 check. You can't check enough. Is I just look on the floor for oil leaks. If I had a spill, I clean it up before I started the engine and moved it back. And also I'm going to look underneath the vehicle when I put my ramps away, just to make 100% sure, because like I said, check, 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 check. Alright, as I make preparations for recycle, dumping the oil out at the auto parts store, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and please have a great day.